Welcome to a new story made by Oracle 1. The Beach of Silence. Clara stood at the edge of the weathered pier, the salt-laden air brushing against her cheeks as she stared out across the vast, endless expanse of the ocean. The horizon wavered like a shivering mirage, the sky and sea melting into one another in hues of lavender and deepening blue. It had been 8 months since James had gone, and with every passing day since his departure, the silence in her life grew heavier, thick and impenetrable as the fog rolling from the sea at dawn. James had been her anchor, her lighthouse in stormy weather. Their love had been woven through years of shared laughter and whispered dreams, bound by memories of warm mornings on sun-dappled beaches and nights spent counting stars. But now, the echo of his absence reverberated within her chest, hollow and aching, like the keys of a piano missing their strings. Her footsteps led her closer to the shore, the gentle crash of the tide beneath the bluff softening the brutal edges of her grief. Claire's eyes, once sparkling with the light of shared joy, now held a reserved stillness, wary and fragile. Yet the sea continued to call, fierce and patient, welcoming and wild, whispering secrets she had never learned to decipher. Trying to listen? The voice was gentle, tinged with a soft southern accent. She turned abruptly, startled by the unexpected company. A man with tousled chestnut hair, sun-kissed skin, and eyes the color of the sea itself stepped from behind a driftwood pile. He wore a weather-beaten jacket over a faded T-shirt and carried a small, waterproof notebook tucked under one arm. "I'm sorry," Clara said with a nervous smile, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "I didn't hear you coming." "Most people don't," he replied, a small grin tugging at his lips. "I'm Dr. Lucas Ainsley, marine biologist. I'm here studying the local seal populations." Clara nodded, somewhat overwhelmed by his readiness to speak. "I'm Clara." "Well, Clara," Lucas said, his gaze softening, "sometimes the sea says more than words can. You just have to know how to listen." Listening. The word echoed in her mind, threading its way through the ache that clung to her like a shroud. Could the sea teach her to listen? Not just to its rumble and roar, but to her own heart, battered and bruised though it was? Over the next few days, Clara found herself drawn inexplicably back to the beach. Each afternoon, she met Lucas at the same place on the pier, where he showed her how to watch the tides, to read the currents and anticipate the patterns of the waves. More than that, he taught her about the hidden world beneath the water's surface, schools of shimmering fish, curious seals that bobbed their heads above the waves, the dance of light on kelp forests swaying gently in the ocean's embrace. At first, Clara was skeptical. How could watching seals or counting waves possibly ease the tempest inside her soul? But Lucas had a way of speaking about the sea as if it were an old friend, a living entity with its own voice and wisdom. "The ocean teaches patience," he told her one afternoon, eyes reflecting the horizon's endless blue. "It can be calm and nurturing, or wild and relentless, but either way, it's persistent. It never gives up, and neither should we." Something shifted inside Clara. The endless horizons and moving waters mirrored the tumult in her heart, sometimes calm, sometimes stormy, but always alive. She began to understand that her grief was a tide, not a wall, and she could learn to flow with it rather than be swept away. One particular evening, they sat side by side on the sand, watching the sun dip beneath the waves, streaking the sky with fiery golds and soft pinks. The beach was hushed, save for the rhythmic sigh of the sea's breath. "I never imagined I'd come back here without him," Clara whispered, finally breaking her silence. "This place is full of his memories, this was our sanctuary. I thought if I left, I could escape the pain, but it just followed me." Lucas nodded thoughtfully. "Memories are like the ocean's tide pools," he said. "They hold little worlds, beautiful but fragile. Sometimes you need to dive in, confront the quiet corners, and learn from them." It's not about forgetting. It's about finding new ways to carry what you've loved. The words resonated deeply, stirring embers of hope where before had been mere ashes. Slowly, she began to open her heart again, to the sea, to life, and even, tentatively, to the possibility of future happiness. In the weeks that followed, Clara and Lucas grew closer. Their connection blossomed amid the salt and sunshine, their laughter mingling with the crashing waves. Lucas shared stories of his childhood by the coast, of his passion for saving endangered marine life, and his belief that every creature, human or oceanic, deserved a chance to heal. Clara, too, opened up about James, the love they had shared, the suddenness of his absence. With each story, her grief became less a chain and more a bridge, linking her past to the possibility of a new future. One breezy afternoon, as a light drizzle began to fall, they sheltered together in an old boathouse, watching the storm approach over the sea. Lucas reached out, brushing a wet strand of Clara's hair from her face. His touch was warm, steady, a balm to her weary spirit. "I want you to listen, Clara," he murmured. "Not just to the sea, but to your own heart. It's speaking, even if it's soft, and you deserve to hear every word." Her breath caught, the world narrowing to the quiet space between them. The storm rumbled in the distance, the rain tapping a gentle rhythm on the roof, and Clara finally understood that moving forward didn't mean leaving love behind. It meant carrying it with her, like the sea carries its treasures, sometimes hidden, sometimes shining brightly, but always there. As night fell, the beach grew still, bathed in moonlight that painted everything silver. They walked hand in hand, toes sinking into the cool sand, the sea whispering its secrets at their feet. From that night on, Clara no longer feared the silence. She had learned to listen, to the sea, to her heart, and to the quiet hope blossoming anew within her. Healing was not a destination but a journey, and with Lucas beside her, the future stretched out like the endless ocean, vast, mysterious, and full of promise. Like and subscribe for more stories.